What's up?
No, I got it.
Are you able to monitor the live stream for?
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know because we had the one person ask about the thing.
Downstairs. Yeah, I saw that comment. I'm like,
Yeah, perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, you're working. Yeah. Okay.
in charge of when this is all going to start?
Say it again?
Are you in charge of when this is all going to start?
I have no idea. I'm just asking.
I know.
It's
Talk.
it's getting a little late. Oh.
Hold on, we gotta wait for lights.
Where's our light? There's our light.
Well, welcome. Hi, I'm Dana Pelabon, and this is...
And I'm Michael Bruno.
So normally we are like funny and comedic, but it feels really inappropriate to do that here.
No, Sarah would love that.
Are you sure?
I'm sure she would. Yes.
Okay, well
I'm
then
sure
you
they
are
would,
in
right?
store for the funniest thing
Right.
ever. Yes.
There'll be laughter, there'll be applause, there'll be tears, there'll be remembrances. We will have a good time knowing that Sarah is here with us tonight because we love her and she loved us, right? Of course, right.
So before we start, we do have to let people know about the casting announcement.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So many years ago, I was on this stage for an audition that I didn't get cast for.
Boo!
I know, that's what I said. And had I been cast, I would have played Sarah Whelan's daughter. Mercury. So after a long audition process about 5 minutes ago, we have decided that I am going to play Sarah Whelan during very specific moments tonight. Because if I can't play her daughter, I'm going to play her. Thank you very much. I will expect my Barty later.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
Well, they will for this.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
So our first group of entertainers are actually her real daughters. So please welcome to the stage the wonderful Jillian Blake, Olwen Hanson Blake, and the lovely and talented Megan Blake Horst to the stage.
Well, first off, Mom would be very upset because my name's actually Gillian. Michael? Gillian. Gillian.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Yes. So. I don't have any light. Turn your. Huh? Find the light?
There you go. Hey, like that out there. Find the light.
Okay. I don't know if this is a performance, really. It's the eulogy. We wanted to share it with you. I'm not mic'd. Are we mic'd? We are. Okay, can you back up a little bit? Can you hear me now? Yeah? Is that better? All right. We're all good?
Thank you, Tom.
So you're Gillian. Okay. So anyway, my name is Gillian. Mom would be so upset. No, she's fine. It's fine. What? I don't know. Carry on. Okay. Anyway, I am Sarah's oldest daughter.
I'm Olwen Hanson Blake. I am her middle daughter.
And I'm Megan Blake Horst. I'm the baby.
He's the baby. Okay. Oh my gosh, these are so dirty. Okay.
Good. Mics are on.
All right. Okay. Our dad's father was a preacher in the Church of Christ in Texas. That's right, she married the son of a preacher man. The only one who could ever reach her. I remember he gave a sermon once where he cut some cardboard into a circle. On it, he wrote "to it." When he spoke about it, he said, lots of us wait to do things. He said something like, I'll try out for a play when I get around to it. I'll travel to far-off places when I get around to it. I'll tell my friends and family I love them when I get around to it. He then brought out the cardboard circle and said, here you go. Here's your round to it. You have no more excuses. I think Mom really took that sermon to heart. She never waited to do something till later. She was quite the risk taker, although I don't think she thought of any of what she was doing as taking risks. It was just the way to live, the way she wanted to live.
Welcome, and thank you all for joining us in this celebration of life for our mother, Sarah Whelan Blake. To you, she was Grammy, great Grammy, aunt, cousin, friend, theater wife, collaborator, fellow actress, director, confidant, travel companion. What did I miss? Oh yes, she was our queen. She never asked for the title or the crown, but she wore it well. Let's start with family. So Mom was born in Shreveport, Louisiana on August 8th, 1937 to first-generation Irish Americans. She was preceded in death by her parents and her brother Paul. She has two sisters, Monty and Alice. She started acting when she was 8 years old. She was a theater major in college, and while acting in a play in Dallas, Texas, she met and then married Jack Blake. They were married for 42 years when Dad passed in 2002 from Parkinson's. They had 4 children, Sean, Gillian, Alwyn, and Megan, and Sean passed in 2020. Mom, Sarah, loved everyone. She saw the potential and worth of every person.
Mom opened her home to countless travelers, exchange students, refugees, performers, writers, singers, actors, family, and our friends. We had an open home that always grew to fit the number of people around the table. One of the things that came to light when Mom was in hospice was how many other people felt like our mom was their mom as well. I never really realized how many siblings I had until now. Tonight, we are all part of Sarah's family. Some of us by blood, and others part of her chosen family. Some of us were brought along or simply needed a place to stay, or maybe just a meal. She opened her heart and talents to our community in so many ways. She shared an extraordinary acting talent with her church, with Phi Beta, on screen, and most of all on stage, often this stage.
She was an amazing mother. As a child, I thought she was the most perfect person. At some point, I realized she didn't see herself that way, but to us, she was everything. She nurtured us to be ourselves and find our passions, whatever they were.
As for making sure the people around her felt loved, well, she never hung up the phone or ended an email without saying, "I love you." And we can tell you, as kids, we never went to bed without a hug or a kiss and an "I love you." I just assumed everybody's family did that. I found out later how wrong I was. I questioned a lot of things growing up, but I never wondered if I was loved.
Mom was our strongest supporter. Whether it was going to choir performances with Alwyn and Gillian, or finding ways to make almost every single gymnastics meet I competed in, and even those that I was coaching. When I was little, my parents would bring me to the bar to watch our brother Sean play drums. We would make it through the first set, then head home. She showed up for us and for so many of you. As small children, we were always brought to rehearsals, shows, and cast parties. It was not until I was in college that I realized that kids actually have a bedtime. I had no idea. So as I got older, I would attend fewer and fewer rehearsals, but Mom would always leave notes on her way to rehearsal about where dinner was. When the run of the show was over, we would always rent movies and order pizza to reconnect. We had that tradition for so many years until I went off to college. I feel so lucky to have been raised in such a non-traditional childhood that allowed me to see so many different worlds.
Find what you love and do your best to be the best you can. Oh, and being different makes you stand out and be memorable. This is a good thing and can take you far. But remember to be humble. A pivotal moment in my life with Mom was when I told her I was a lesbian. She didn't miss a beat. She said she loved me and accepted me just as I was. She also welcomed all of our partners into the family as her own, male and female, gay and straight. Love is what mattered to Mom. Speaking of love, we want to acknowledge our loves who have been our rocks and held us up through this time. Jeff, Shelley, Charlie, Mom loved you deeply. We love you more than words. The one thing she did struggle with, she told me over coffee early on. She said, "I'm just sad that you won't have children. You would have been a great mother." I said, "What makes you think I won't have children?" I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. I contributed 5 of her grandchildren. Gillian brought 4, Megan 2, and Sean had 3, one who passed shortly after his birth. In total, Grammy had 14 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. Grandkids, will you please stand up? I know you're out there. All right. All right. All right. All these people know who you are, because Grammy talked about you all the time. All right. Grammy loved you all so very much. She kept tabs on you all. As you know, she followed you all on Facebook regularly until you got wise to her and changed platforms. Even still, she stayed in touch. She was connected with you in any way she could, from attending games, performances, birthday parties, weddings, graduations, to going on grand adventures with you. She knew you all and was so proud of the beautiful and kind people you are. You are a significant part of her legacy.
One of her best traits was that she was brilliantly humble. She carried herself with confidence. Everywhere she went, she was met with admiration. You've heard the expression, she lit up a room. Well, she did, every time, all the time. But she had a way of deflecting that from herself and sharing it with others. You knew you were in the presence of greatness without arrogance. She showed true interest in everyone she encountered. I believe she knew how to help people feel seen well before that was a thing. I think she had the gift of being present in each moment. She not only helped people feel seen, she did see them.
Mom loved to travel. Our parents traveled as much as they could until our dad was no longer able to travel before he passed. For the next 24 years, she traveled with friends and family to see friends and family, and a few more family along the way. She traveled the world, she zip-lined in Costa Rica, she rode a camel in Morocco, and went to the tops of mountains. Mind you, she was in a bus or perhaps a gondola. Rarely, if ever, hiking. She performed many theatrical pieces, both planned and unplanned. Once we were in San Francisco, they called her up for a lip sync competition. Little did they know that they called up a ringer. At this drag show, it was wild. She worked the crowd, she got a tip, and she won the game hands down. In 2020, we went with our mom to Ireland to share a trip that she had taken with her siblings maybe 20 years before. We got to see her grandparents' birthplace and met new family along the way. Hey, Jimmy. If you've ever been to her house, you will have seen all the pieces she collected from artists around the world.
She was a visionary, a connector, and an organizer. She got things done. I remember as a child, when we would drive around just about anywhere, she would be looking for a building that could house a shared community theater space. She acted with most of the community theaters in Madison and saw a common problem: limited performance spaces. Over the years, she joined with others who had the same vision. I think it's safe to say that she was one of the key founders of the Bartell Theater. It's hard to list her contributions to Madison's community theater scene. Pretty much everywhere you look, Sarah Whelan has been involved. She acted, directed, sat on boards, provided rehearsal space, or helped promote wherever she could. She also had a hand in helping many theater companies get their start. Mercury Players Theater, Crass, and Encore, to name a few. Even as she was no longer able to be as actively involved, she made a point to attend every play the Bartell participating theater companies had in production.
When her vision began to fail her, she continued to want to be in plays. You theater people, you never gave up on trying to get her to be in something.
You know it's true.
I'm pausing on that.
We're talking to all of you out
know it's
there.
true.
Yeah. Her health became too unpredictable, so she retired. But did she? One of you out there told her about an upcoming production you were working on called Turn the Page. She started writing a piece for that show. It would be about the last 2 years and what it had been like for her as her health started to decline. I do believe if she had lived a bit longer, she would have performed it.
Yeah. So she believed in this theater. She loved it. She loved what community theater contributes to our society. Theater feeds the soul and challenges our thinking and promotes a better world. That is who she was, what she believed, and how she lived. We would like to acknowledge the Bartell Theater for allowing us to be here today. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. This place and all the people connected to the Bartell were also her family. This is her legacy. As a parting gift to the Bartell Theater, she listed the Bartell as beneficiary of an investment account. We're pleased to announce that the Bartell Theater received a gift of $14,762.29. Well, we're gonna pitch in the extra $237.71 to get us to an even $15,000.
In addition to theater and family, Mom was also a person of faith. She was raised Catholic and raised us Catholic. She and Dad were very involved in various activities at our church. Mom came into conflict with some of the beliefs of the Catholic Church and left organized religion for a number of years. I just found out in the organizing of this event that she quit the Catholic Church because they don't support and sometimes condemn the LGBTQ+ community. She was not going to support something that did not support her children.
Then she found Lakeview Moravian Community Church, now known as Common Grace. Here she found her faith community. Common Grace believes that building relationships of love, compassion, and mutual care will help bring peace and justice to our neighborhood and the world. That was right up Mom's alley. She joined many volunteer activities with the church, including packing lunches for kids experiencing food insecurity and going on a mission to Nicaragua to work in a diabetes clinic. We would like to thank and acknowledge Stacy Marisi Wheeler, pastor at Common Grace, who was with us earlier today. Stacy came to visit Mom in her final days. During the visit, Mom thanked Stacy for helping to bring her back to closeness to God. She said she had not felt that since her husband, our father Jack, had died. Thank you, Stacy, for your ministry and friendship.
In Mom's final days, she was not able to receive many visitors or take many phone calls. We asked if people wanted to send text messages to Mom's phone, we would read them to her. Mom received 93 text messages and emails. You all showed up for her in a big way. Thank you all. We read every single one to her.
We want to acknowledge Dale Leibowitz for her continued love and support for Mom over the years. We also want to thank the friends who stepped in as caretakers this last year with us. Specifically, Tracy Dietzel. Mom trusted you, and it gave us peace to know she was well supported with you. Special thanks also to Mallory, Grace, and Jenny from A Grace Hospice. To her many friends who often visited, Molly V., Martha, Jenny Moss, Emmy, Betty, Gail, and Ellen, thank you. To Aunt Alice, Jackie Bradley, and Molly Nikolich, who called her every day. That meant so much to her. And then to Mom's friends who joined her on game days. She really came to life those days, gave her such joy. To anyone we missed and all of you who stayed so present in her life to the end, thank you. Finally, to Jan Leventhal, thank you for producing today's celebration and for writing and directing the last full-length production, Overprint, performed here at the Bartell. That's the last production Mom was in. She loved you all. Thank you for being with us on this journey as we fulfilled Mom's wish to stay in her condo with her family as we walked her home.
We want to leave you with final words of wisdom we heard from Mom and Dad. In her final days, Mom shared these again.
Don't let the bastards get you down.
A lot can get done if no one cares who gets the credit.
That one came up a lot.
Be good to each other.
Enjoy your life.
Thank you.
So I need you to know that people were supposed to give us little intros for themselves. Some did, most of them didn't. So we're gonna make them up. We all know if you don't get your cast thing in, what is that called? Your bio?
Your bio, yes.
I'm the worst.
And I'll make sure and mispronounce your name just like I did with Gillian. Gillian.
So our next presenter did give us something to say. What did he say?
He said something about wanting to be introduced as His Royal Highness.
So normally that's me and Pete. This is an old joke for those of us who were around 700 years ago. Yeah, there was a loud noise back there. So we are gonna bring up is he the president of the Bartell board?
Oh, who knows? Who cares?
Yeah. We're gonna bring up Steve Knoll. Come on out.
See, we told you we were gonna be nasty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who are you? Wait, which one? Which one? This one? This one? This one? Does it work? Does it work and all that? So, wow, how do you actors do this with the lights? I hate this. So, yeah. So, yes, hi, I'm Steve Knoll. I'm representing the Bartell board here. Sarah Whelan was actually president of the board many, many years. So yes, you've noticed there's these crystal vases around. There's two up here, there's a couple in the lobby, and you might be wondering, what are they and why is their name on it? So these are the Sarah Whelan Awards. So for 10 years, the Bartell did a fundraiser every year, the Bartell Theater Awards, the Barties. And I believe it was in year 2 or 3, Molly Vanderlyn, who was producing the show, said that they wanted to do like a Volunteer of the Year award as part of the show. And clearly there was no other choice than the first person, and that was Sarah. So they named the award after her, the Sarah Whelan Award. So each year, for the rest of the run of the Barties, we presented the Sarah Whelan Award. And I was absolutely honored to get the first after Sarah. So, and here it is. Here it is. So this has been on my mantle ever since. It gets dusted once in a while, but it's other than that, it's very, very pretty. So, but what's really, really cool is the Bartell board this week, we just voted, we are bringing back the Sarah Whelan Award. Yes. So we have been talking as a board about kind of resurrecting an annual celebration of something, not necessarily the Barties. We don't know if that would work or not, but who knows. But it'd be something. But anyway, the board is going to present a Volunteer of the Year award once a year for the rest of eternity, and it will be forever known as the Sarah Whelan Award. So, yes. So in the future, we will be announcing the first recipient of it, and each year after that. So Sarah will always live on forever in the theater.
Thank you, Steve. Who? Steve Knoll. Steve Knoll. Wonderful. And now, direct from the lovely Emerald Isle, please welcome Jimmy Murphy.
Thank you. So we meet here today not merely to mourn a loss, but to celebrate a legacy. I am deeply honoured to stand before you to represent the Murphy family from Ireland, who in recent years have had the privilege of getting to know Sarah. So today we remember, honour and say a fond farewell to a pillar of our families and communities. History rarely reveals its design so neatly or beautifully than it did in June 2022, now 4 years ago. History converged in our kitchen in Ireland. There stood Sarah on a visit home, holding a fragment of the past, a letter written by her grandfather, Michael Murphy, which was posted home to Ireland in the middle of the Great Depression on December 5th, 1934. It was to his brother, Thomas, my grandfather. It was a message being read across time, assuring his family that all was well and sending support to his brother in Ireland. Michael also revealed that his daughter, Margaret, Sarah's mother, and family were doing well down in Shreveport, Louisiana. Upon reading this, the raw emotion that gripped Sarah in that moment was not just a reaction to old ink on faded paper. It was a spark of a timeless connection, almost like the letter itself had finally found its way home over 90 years later. I pray that the comfort of that connection renewed a link to Sarah's past over the last number of years. From that single visit home, Sarah became a great champion of our family heritage, including helping and restoring our shared ancestral home. It was Sarah's encouragement and support, along with the greater Whelan family, that helped us achieve our heritage dream. Sarah's story, of course, is part of a grander epic, the great Irish immigrant story that takes us across the vast Atlantic Ocean. It was a story of thousands who sailed from their native shores in a great time of stress toward a new frontier, in search of hope, in search of dreams, in search of a better life for the generations yet unborn. Sarah's grandfather, Michael Murphy's journey in 1890 took him from Corrigorum, just outside Mitchelstown in Ireland, to the teeming streets of New York, Philadelphia, Boston, down to Louisiana, and ultimately, by the grace of Providence, all the way to Madison today. His path was mirrored by his wife, Sarah Burke, from County Galway, and his son-in-law, Gus Whelan's family from County Waterford. If we ask ourselves what forged these lives, if we ask what sustained them, the answer is found in one simple, unyielding word: endurance. It surely took an emotional endurance to say goodbye to all they knew, their home, their kin, their country, never to see any of them again. It surely took a physical endurance to brave the wild Atlantic, defying sickness and disease on board overcrowded ships and the hidden perils of the deep. And let us not forget the simple daily endurance required to carve out a life in a new world of opportunity, day by day, year in, year out. Today we gather as a living testimony to that incredible endurance, passed like a burning torch from generation to generation, a torch that Sarah carried with abundance throughout her life. I'd like to finish today with some lines from an Irish singer-songwriter. His name was Christy Hennessy. Christy was from Tralee in County Kerry. He could not read or write, but yet composed the most amazing songs with the help of his daughter. I will not sing it, I will spare you that, so I will read it. It's called Roll Back the Clouds. I've been sitting here so long for you to hear my song. Who is the biggest star I've seen? What is my favorite scene? And if I get the job, would I play on Mars? Yes, sir, I would play on Mars. I'd play upon a star. I've known my highs and lows. I've worked in every show. I've played in every town, and I've brought some houses down. I give my heart to every part. I would like to stand for hours and hours. I'd walk through some showers with my dancing shoes and my dreams on view. I walk upon an empty stage with one light in my face. Every day the same old scene, the same old happenings. 100 miles of shows and always on the go. And when your time has run out and you're asked to take a final bow, you realize you've just stolen the show, but now you're on your own. Yes, sir, I would sing on Mars. My dream scene is me a star. I am a star. Sarah, you are a star. Gormila Mahagud, thank you very much.
Our next performer, in the bio he didn't give us, said that he met Sarah across a crowded room. I'm going to say where he met her. In Venice. They saw each other across the bridge, and they said, that kid, he looks good. And he said, that lady, she looks sweet. So they went and got ice cream and talked about a shared love of theater, and then flew back to Madison, Wisconsin, where they then worked on shows together. But don't forget that moment across the bridge in Venice where they locked eyes and thought about ice cream. Welcome, Sean Langenecker.
That's true, all that happened. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is going to be a game I play with you all. It's called, Can I Make It Through All These Songs Without Crying? How do I? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't remember when I met Sarah. I'm pretty sure it was during Queer Shorts, and we spent a whole lot of time sitting in the dressing room waiting to go on because, you know, Queer Shorts went on forever, and you were on 5 minutes of it, and then the other hour and 75 minutes, you just sat in the green room and hung out. And honestly, some of the best evenings of my life were not on that stage, but we're in a green room talking to Sarah. I didn't really know what to do for this, so I decided to go with a vibe. Here we go. Don't let the kids win, just let them lose. they won't learn anything. If that's the way you choose, don't let the kids win, just let them fall. They won't. You don't want them growing up thinking that 2-year-olds are good at basketball. Don't let your brother stop thinking you're cool. Yeah, he's got a girlfriend now and he's taller, but that don't mean he stopped looking up to you. And I've got a feeling that this won't ever change. We're gonna keep on getting older. We're gonna keep on feeling strange. Don't let your friends grow cold while you burn to green. When they come off that stage, embrace them and say that's the best shit I've ever seen. Don't let your sister walk down the aisle without holding her close and saying I love you, and it's okay if I don't see you for a while. 'Cause I've got a feeling that this won't ever change. We're gonna keep on getting older. We're gonna keep on feeling strange. Don't let the time go by without sitting your mother down and asking her what her life was like before you came around. And tell her it's all right if you put yourself first. Us kids will be okay if we're not always the center of the universe. And I've got a feeling that this won't ever change. We're gonna keep on getting older. We're gonna keep on getting strange. And after a late one, when I don't know anything, except the more I keep on talking, the less breath I'll have to sing. All right, I'm going to play something more cheerful now. That's a song by Jackie. Crap. I remember the words, not her last name. I'm so sorry, Jackie. She's Australian. She's great. Sure. There it is. Somebody knows. I cut out the really sad verses. Okay. I did. I really did. Again, wasn't given a whole lot of parameters for tonight, and they said 15 minutes, so guess what? You're getting 15 minutes, dang it. All right. Look what you've done, you gigolo. You know that I loved you, hon, but I didn't want to know that your cool, seductive serenade was a tool of your trade. You gigolo. Of all the riches you survey and all that you can lift, I'm just to walk another dollar that you made in your long, long grift. Look what you've done. You gigolo. Oh, another hustle has been run. But now you ought to know that this fool can no longer be swayed by the tools of your trade. You gigolo. Oh, another John has been ripped. Another sucker stiffed. I'm just a walk-on role in the script of your long, long grift. The love that had me in its grip was just a long grift. It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair. Now her mommy is yelling no as her daddy tells it to go. But her friend is nowhere to be seen as she walks through her sunken dream to the seat with the clearest view. Now she's hooked to the silver screen, but the film is a saddening bore, for she's read it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools as they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, I wonder if they'll ever know they're in the best-selling show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, I wonder if he'll ever know he's in the freakiest show. Is there life on Mars? It's on America's tortured brow that Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. Now the workers have struck for fame, 'cause Lenin's on sale again. See the mice in their million hordes, from Ibiza to Norfolk Broads. Rule Britannia is out of bounds to my mother, my dog, and clowns. But the film is a saddening bore, for I've read it 10 times or more. It's about to be read again as I ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, I wonder if they'll ever know they're in the best-selling show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, I wonder if he'll ever know he's in the best-selling show. Is there life on Mars? Time lights a cigarette, puts it in your mouth. You pull a finger, then another finger, then your cigarette. The wall-to-wall is calling, you linger, then you forget. Oh, no, no, no. You're a rock and roll suicide. You're too old to lose it, too young to choose it. And the clock waits so patiently for your song. You pass a cafe, but you can't eat when you've lived so long. Oh, no, no, no. You're a rock and roll suicide. The shift brakes are snarling as you stumble across the road. But the day breaks instead, so you hurry home. Don't let the sun blast your shadow. Don't let the milk flow blow your mind. They're so casually, predictably unkind. Oh no, love, you're not alone. You're looking at yourself, but you're much too unfair. You got your mind all tangled up. If I could just make you care. Oh no, love, you're not alone. No matter what or where you've been, no matter who or where you've seen, the knives seem to lacerate your brain. I've been there too. Let me help you with the pain. Oh no, love, you're not alone. Just turn on with me and you're wonderful. Just give me your hands and you're wonderful. Just give me your hands and you're wonderful. Just give me your hands and you're... Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. I hope you're wearing your best clothes. Can't bribe the door on the way to the sky, but you look pretty good from here. But you ain't really good. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? The bullets. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? The bullets. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Gotta get away from here. We gotta get away. Just stop your crying, it'll be alright. They told me that the end is near. I gotta get away from here. Just stop your crying, have the time of your life. I'm breaking through the atmosphere. You look pretty good from here. Everything's gonna be alright. We can meet again somewhere far away from here. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? The bullets. We don't talk enough. We should open up before it's all too much. When will we learn? We've been here before. It's just what we know. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We gotta get away from here. We gotta get away. We gotta get away. We gotta get away. We gotta get away. Away. Bye, Sarah.
Sean Langenecker, the lovely and talented Sean. Keep it going for Sean. So I have a little story to tell you. I was fresh out of graduating from Edgewood High School of the Sacred Heart here in Madison, Wisconsin in 1973. And I was offered my first professional job in Madison as the choreographer for the Madison Theater Guild. Yes, I was a dancer. And a dancer dances. So we were holding auditions for our winter musical, which was Gypsy. And back in the day, we performed on the West High School auditorium stage because we were part of the Madison School Community Recreation Department, and we used the high schools for our venues to do shows. So the knowledgeable and wonderful mentor of mine, Richard Harrison, held auditions, and we knew we were looking for the 3 strippers who put Gypsy on her path in burlesque. And who should walk in the door that day but Sarah Whelan Blake? And I thought, oh my God, there's our Mazeppa. So Nancy Rudy, Pat Walkington, and Sarah Whelan Blake became our wonderful strippers in Gypsy, and that was the first show that I ever did with the wonderful Sarah when I was merely 18 years old. So that's how far back I go with Sarah. So in order to recreate that vision for you, please welcome the fabulous Miss Mazeppa. Oh.
We would have music, but that would have been too technical.
Really? But
I'm a dead ringer for Sarah. Do you not agree?
But we got to have a gimmick, and that was the gimmick. And God loves Sarah, she learned how to play the trumpet badly. And that ain't easy to do, let me tell you.
Thank you. I'm Sarah Whelan Blake.
So as a side note, we were also picketed by the wonderful pastor from Monroe, whose name shall not be mentioned, who thought, how dare we put 3 women of a certain age who were mothers and almost grandmothers as strippers in a show. Obviously, he had never seen Gypsy, had never heard about Gypsy, and knew that these strippers were certain women of a certain age who were doing burlesque in the day. So thanks to him, we sold out every performance. Made headline news in the Wisconsin State Journal, and we sent him back to Monroe for cheese days. So our next performer, I believe, is sitting right there in the front row. Aren't you? Oh, you're not? Yes, you are. So as you all know and love her, I've known her for a while. She's a very dear friend. She was a very dear friend of Sarah's. Her history goes back with Sarah for quite a long time. Please welcome to the stage, Jenny Maas.
Okay. I am not off book for this. So here we go. I'm going to do this as best I can without crying. I'll probably cry, so yeah. I met Sarah 31 years ago when we did Agnes of God at Madison Theater Guild. I didn't realize then that I had met a lifelong friend and mentor. I remember many rehearsals in Sarah's old living room at her house before the condo. When the show closed, she gifted me an angel pin. On the back of the pin was a note written on a typewriter It said, "May your angels always sing for you and with you. You do good work. Love, Sarah." I've never worn this pin since then. This is the pin. It's always been on the back with that note and sitting displayed in every home I've ever had. So, can't lose it. And what a thing to hear from the Grand Dame of Theater. It's one of my prized possessions that has always been with me. This morning, this morning, one of her daughters, Owen, came to me and said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Well, you're going to cry now." She then gifted me with Sarah's version of the Agnes of God script. It's got all of her notes, all of her highlighting, drawings of the stage, everything that she did. So, sorry. Then, years and years later, many, many shows later, no one could have played my mother but Sarah in that wonderfully weird show, House of Yes. I always admired that no role seemed to intimidate her. She did them all, and she was a queen with every one of them. Sarah became another mother figure to me, something I really needed and cherished. I was blessed to have the chance to visit her a few days before she passed. She wasn't talking and was sleeping most of the time. I sat with her and kissed her on the head and said, "Bye, Mama." I got a little smile and a quiet, "Bye, baby." She had always called me that. I will never forget that moment. What a gift. I have so many other memories, just lots of meals, lots of tea at the condo, meals at Nick's, just lots of time with her. Last week, this is weird, but last week I was cleaning out my kitchen drawers. I walked away for a few minutes, and I came back, and one thing was sitting on my kitchen counter. It was a pot holder she gave me from her Ireland trip. I don't know how it got there, but I do believe that spirits of our loved ones can visit us, and I believe that was her way of saying hello that day. I'd like to take just a minute, if we would, to sit in a moment of silence and to just ask everyone to think of a time of their favorite memory with Sarah. I won't make this go too long because I know we're all crying. In the theater, we often say we become a family. Sarah was a bonus mom, grandma, sister, aunt, mentor, and dear friend to so many of us. As in theater, every show comes to a close. The lights go down and the production is packed away. But the people we became to love, the ones that change our lives, their legacy goes well beyond the last curtain call. What a gift Sarah was to all of us, and what an amazing legacy she's left behind.
Thank you so much, Jenny. So the next two people that we are going to come up are an unlikely couple, a zombie and Shrek. But they fell in love, and they do music together. Please welcome Simone and Ethan.
A zombie and Shrek. Believe we've got a caption for a future photo, maybe. And don't worry, Jenny, we're not off book either, so it's cool. It's all good. Ooh, didn't need that one. All right.
Sarah would have been. You might know the tune. She had the best smile, she would act with her eyes. Her spirit's forever, that part never dies. She will always reveal what she wants us to see. Wisdom and grace, she's the queen of the actors to me. As the lead that you love, she will make you believe her. Playing the part, you won't want to leave her. Emotion and feeling, she'll force you to see. A sage of the stage, she's the queen of the actors to me. Oh, she takes care of her kids, her ensemble too. She's got great sense of time. Oh, shared the spotlight with all. Not a diva, it's true. Always knowing her lines. Now is the time her spirit is leaving. Dancing with Jack, her boy's no longer grieving. Still shining bright, leave on the ghost light. I'm never in darkness, she's queen of the actors to me. Oh, she takes care of her kids, her ensemble too. She's got a great sense of time. Oh, shared the spotlight with all. Not a diva, it's true. Always knowing her lines. She's frequently kind and totally cool. She can rest in sweet peace, she can laugh at the fools. And the best we can do is remember her now. And the most we can do is make sure we stay true. Yes, she's the Sarah Whelan to me. And the most we can do is make sure we stay true. She's the Sarah Whelan to me.
Love you forever, Sarah.
The Zombie and Shrek, ladies and gentlemen. Also known as Candelisa Cannoli, my daughter, and the lovely and talented Judy Garland from Christmas with the Crawfords on this very stage, which I was honored to have directed here. Our next guest star and I met when I was writing and producing a show for the Italian Workmen's Club for their centennial anniversary of being a benefactor to the Italian Americans in Madison at the club on Regent Street. I needed somebody who could play the squeeze box and pretend he was Italian. He played the squeeze box, and sometimes he does play in Italian. Please welcome Mr. Tom Castle.
Oh, we have to do a little bit of adjustment here. There we go. Talk amongst yourselves.
Supposed to fill in. Look at us, we're filling in. Do you need your box thing?
Oh, no.
That wasn't meant to be dirty, I swear to God.
It's always a little bawdy, you might say.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah. And yeah, I am kind of off book on this particular song, but I usually cry when I do it, so just, this is insurance. I've done a couple of shows with Sarah, and one of my favorite experiences was at the Bartell was being a tap dancing Hagrid. And as a member of the faculty at Hogwarts, I would leave the stage when the faculty left the stage, except for one scene, and I would always screw up and walk off the stage at the wrong time. And as I was walking by Sarah the last time, I think it was during Tech Week, she was like a ventriloquist. She didn't even move her lips, but she walked by me, tapped me on the forearm, and said, "You stay on stage, dear." And she gave everybody, I think she went to Bernie's Rock Shop, and she gave everybody opening night one of these, a pet rock, and it's one of my favorite things. Now, I'm a nautical person, and I came here after many years of doing tall ships and stuff, and I found that tall ships and theater are pretty much the same thing. You're working together really hard for weeks or months at a time, and then it's over. And then you go on to another ship, like you go on to another production. And oh my God. I wish I was a piano player. We're close. So this is a song by an Australian writer by the name of Eric Bogle, and it talks mostly about sailors and dreamers and schemers, and I think actors are right in between the sailors and the schemers. Have you stood by the ocean on a diamond hard morning and felt the horizon so deep in your soul? Watch the wake of a steamer as it cuts through blue water, being gripped by a fever you just can't control. But to throw off the shackles and fly with the seagulls where green waves tumble on a driving sea wind, or to lie on the decking on a warm summer's evening, watch the red sun fall burning beneath the earth's rim. And to every sailor comes time to drop anchor, haul in the sails and make the lines fast. You deep water dreamer, your journey is over. You're safe in the harbor at last. Safe in the harbor at last. And some men are sailors, but most are just dreamers, held fast by the anchors they forge in their minds. When their hearts know they'll never sail over deep water to search for a treasure they're afraid they won't find. So in sheltered harbors they cling to their anchors, crank down their boilers, shut down their steam, and wait for the sailors to return with bright treasures that will fan the dull embers and fire up their dreams. And to every sailor comes time to drop anchor, haul in the sails and make the lines fast. You deep water dreamer, your journey is over. You're safe in the harbor at last. Safe in the harbor at last. And some men are schemers who laugh at the dreamers, take the gold from the sailors and turn it to dross. They are men in a prison, they're men without vision, whose only horizon is profit and loss. So when storm clouds go sailing across your blue ocean, hold fast to your dreaming for all that you're worth. For as long as there's dreamers, there will always be actors bringing back their bright treasures from the corners of earth. And to every sailor comes time to drop anchor. Haul in the sails and make the lines fast. You deep water dreamer, your journey is over. You're safe in the harbor at last. Safe in the harbor at last. Thank you.
So our next performer actually is, I think, one of the most brave artists that has come from this community. She takes her van and caravans all across the United States, singing her songs, doing her art. I think she is the embodiment of the type of artist that I think Sarah really loved. Let's bring up Julie Johnson.
Thank you for that rousing introduction, Dana. It's half true. I just took one journey so far, but the plan is to continue and do exactly what Dana said. So thank you. She's alluding to a future, I think. Yeah, I met Sarah Whelan first in, I think it was 2012. I stage managed for The Road to Mecca. And that was the first time I had gotten to work with Sarah. I had already heard about her. Her reputation precedes her by miles. And it was a joy to watch her perform and to work with her. And I worked with her. I was on stage with her in another show at the Broome Street Theater that Jan had written. And then this last time that I was on stage with her was in Between the Wires, which was a play originally written by a friend of hers, of Sarah's, from Australia. Her friend was a descendant of people who had lived through the Holocaust. And I was supposed to tell you the tagline, and I can't remember it, so I'm gonna make it up. But basically, this couple had met in a concentration camp, and then of course they, after they survived that, they didn't see each other for many, many years. And then eventually they saw each other again. And Tom was in it too. But we were just the singers, Sarah and Ray. Thank you, Ray. He wasn't able to make it tonight, but I believe he was here this morning. He's amazing, as is Sarah, and they were the two actors in the story, and Tom and I were just the music, and so we did this song together. It's called let me say that again, Bemir Bitstuschen. And before we start, I just want to say thank you to Sarah. I learned so much from her just by watching her perform. She's just amazing, and you all know that. So I miss her already. Seeing her on stage is like just watching everything good happen. Okay.
Don't forget the dance part.
Oh, yes. I was trying to say, Tom's and my favorite part of that whole play was when Ray and Sarah had this bit at the end where they danced together, and it was just breathtakingly beautiful. That's the only part I actually remember, other than the song that we did. But yeah, because it happened in 2020, actually, was the performance date in February, right before the pandemic. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed interacting with Sarah. And she always gave the best advice and was such a wonderful person to work with. And no, I'm ready. Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, until I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came in sight, dear, my heart grew light, and this old world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain, hoping to explain all the things that you do to me. By mere best to shame, please let me explain. By mere bits to shame means you're grand. By mere bits to shame, again let me explain. It means you're the fairest in the land. I could say Bella, Bella, even say wonder, but each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. I've tried to explain by mere bits to shame. So kiss me and say you'll understand. By mere bits to shame, please let me explain. By mere bits to shame means you're grand. By mere bits to shame, it means you're the fairest in the land. Thank you, Tom.
Julie Johnson and Tom Castle, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going. So another little anecdote that I had with the lovely Sarah. I was producing and directing a show called Sweet Cannoli Nuptials for 10 years here in Madison. It was an interactive wedding where the audience came in and they were actually people who were enjoying being guests of the wedding. And I had been begging Sarah to please be a member of the cast year after year after year. And she would turn to me and she'd say, Michael, I don't do improvisation. Give me a script and I'll do a show for you. So my friend Tony Bertano and I wrote a script called The Game Show Show, which we performed downstairs here at the Bartell Theater, where we did a little game show called The Capitol Squares, which was a parody of the wonderful game shows that I was privileged enough to work on when I lived in Los Angeles. And I said, Sarah, I have the part for you, and we will write all of your answers, because you are going to be one of the center squares in the Capitol Squares as the lovely and talented Betty White. And she said, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, performing as Betty White, as Sarah Blake, who looks more like Sophia Petrillo, is the lovely Dana Pelleban.
This is all I got. All I have is a white wig.
Okay, good, wonderful. Yeah, we'll put that one in the archives. So also during that show, I had the honor of casting many of my friends to be look-alike celebrities, along with local celebrities like Tammy Baldwin and Lynette Hanson and Cass Marie Domino. But my favorite of all was my lovely little Carney Wilson, and I want to bring her up to the stage now, who came here all the way from Disney World in Orlando. Please welcome Kelly Fitzgerald.
Sarah was mother before mother was a thing. And I had a bunch of little memories to talk about, but I'm going to let a far better writer than I speak. When to the sessions of sweet, silent thought, I summon up remembrance of things past, I sigh, the lack of many a thing I sought, and with old woes, new wail my dear time's waste. Then can I drown an eye unused to flow for precious friends hid in death's stateless night, and weep afresh love's long since canceled woe, and moan the expense of many a vanished sight. Then can I grieve at grievances forgone, and heavily from woe to woe tell o'er the sad account of fore bemoaned moan, which I knew pay, as if not paid before. But if the while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored, and sorrows end.
So we've decided that intermission's only 15 minutes. Yeah, 15.
Is it 15 minutes?
15.
Okay. You're
that
welcome.
means go get your drinks fastly, very quick.
Yes.
Come back upstairs.
Wait, Bonnie's got to get downstairs and open the bar.
Wait a
Bar will
minute.
be
Bonnie's
open.
going to run downstairs. She's going to open the bar, go in pairs, get your orders ready. See you in a minute.
We'll be back in 15. Thank you, everybody. welcome back. So the first half of our show is now in the books. You've all got a cocktail. You've all visited the powder room, I'm sure. So we're going to move on to Act 2.5. So to open up the second half of the show, I am honored to bring our former poet laureate, our first poet laureate in Madison, Wisconsin. And she is going to give us a part of her wonderful memories of her time with Sarah Blake. So please welcome to the stage the lovely Andrea Musher.
Second, John Tushin was poet laureate forever from the 1970s up till the year 2000. He became poet laureate under Paul Soglin I. When, you know, there was Paul Soglin I, and then Paul Soglin II, and then Paul Soglin III. And when Paul Soglin I became mayor, he said, well, Tushin, is there anything you think we should do? And Tushin said, yeah, we should have a poet laureate. So we were actually the first city in the country to have a municipal poet laureate, and now everybody has them. So Tushin decided that I had to take on the responsibility of making it an institution, and now it's been an institution, and it's a thing that's been going on for the whole 21st century, and we've had lots and lots of poet laureates now. But during the pandemic, I was busy writing poetry. It just was like pouring out of me, a poem a day, and I didn't used to just type them up and send them out. I was, you know, I sat on them, I was very anal about it. I just started sending them out to a list of 13 people. And Sarah and Jan Levine Thal were part of the original 13 recipients of the poem. And the poem took over my life. I'm just the poet. And when we begin this piece, you'll hear that hopefully, we will make the magic work. You will hear the voice of Sarah as the poem, because after I'd been sending out these poems for more than a year, we ended up collaborating on a presentation where I was the poet and she was the poem, and she was dressed all in sparkles, and she just took over. As you can imagine. So she directed it and whipped the poem into shape. And the final performance that we did was in March of 2022. And I think you're going to hear a rehearsal for that features percussion being done by the marvelous percussionist Chris DiBernardo, who has since moved away, but I wanted to give credit where credit's due. I had the great good fortune to know Sarah for the past 10 years. We've collaborated on a number of things, and our collaboration on the poem in the pandemic, it's peregrinations, perturbations, and cogitations was our final collaboration. And in this first poem of the performance, you'll hear how the pandemic poem came into being. And it was my neighbor's fault. So this is entitled Following Instructions. And now, if the magic works, you'll hear the disembodied voice.
So my neighbor has said that my words must maintain social distancing.
my words have been seen leaving the house, trying to gather people together. Who knows what they can spread?
So with my neighbor saying that the poem had to learn to obey COVID protocols, we had to figure out, how does a poem wear a mask? Because after I wrote about word distancing, my neighbor said, what's next? A masked sonnet? And of course, I was already on it. I was already writing a masked sonnet when he sent that. And then we had to figure out how a poem washes its hands for 20 seconds. And we had to figure out how the poem would engage in contact tracing, because the poem goes everywhere. And Sarah, as the poem, goes everywhere. But the poem began to develop apps. It decided it wanted to develop an exercise app for jumping to conclusions. And it developed a cooking app, and it was just busy all the time. It developed a vaccine way before anybody else. But by September, things were still, we were still in lockdown, and my neighbor asked, is poetic license given or taken? So now my neighbor is asking about poetic license. And since the poem has had a temporary permit to operate a verse-bearing vehicle for the past 6 months, there is some concern about the renewal notice failing to arrive by mail. 6 months special pandemic permits had seemed generous back in March. Some say the poem will have to go directly to the DMV, the Division of Mobilized Verse. But the poem is not a fan of lines that are too long, and doesn't want to get stuck standing with a bunch of unmasked prose types. Plus, the poem is rather vain and so troubled by the photo ID requirement that usually produces face-forward images, rather than the tell-it-slant version of truth that the poem favors. But the PPCB, the Poem Police Censorship Brigade, has been stopping or stalking poems for capitalization infractions and too many comma splices. Meanwhile, Twitter licenses have created a lot of confusion. The fact that the poem is fond of dashes means it may be held up at any moment. Neoconservative grammarians are saying poems think they can get away with anything, but we've got news for them. So Sarah has ruined me because she, of course, read that whole thing in the first person as the poem. And, you know, I feel as if I can't do my own poetry justice anymore. But when Megan had talked about the emails that people were sending to Sarah in her final days, this is the poem that I sent to Sarah. And the daughters promised that they would read it to her when they got a chance. I'm not sure if they got a chance to read it to her in her final days, but I'm sure she's read it by now, and I'm sure she's heard it by now, because as the poem, she is everywhere. And this is entitled, For Sarah, who embodied the poem in performance as we emerged from the pandemic. The poet is calling out to you, the poem, sending similes that are like the stream and its glissandos, flowing with life and love, turning fish, pebbles, twigs, larvae, silver gum wrappers, and skyey reflections into and through all the precious parts of you. Your going onness is ever and always in all the particles of so many lives. Blessed you are, and blessings you give. As the poet, I whisper in your inner ear, here, here, here. Fear not. Cling, sing, dip, and meander. We hold you in our hearts to come or to go. Your fierce flow is unstoppable, my dear.
So our next performer, actually, me and this performer have a lot in common with Sarah and Jack. We love traveling together, except for the fact that we've decided that we should never share a room. He likes English breakfast. I think it's disgusting. And at the end of the day, I have been lucky enough to travel along with my friend for 25 years, like Sarah was able to travel the world with her friend and her husband for most of her life. Please welcome up Carl Reinhardt.
So I had the honor of sort of traveling in Sarah's orbit with never really working directly with her on stage. We're always next to each other, working on tech and stuff. And but I never got to know her as closely as many people in this audience did. But one of her absolute gifts was that she made everybody feel as if they were her closest friend. And I never felt like there was a friendship hierarchy when it came to Sarah. And every time I saw her, she always was so warm and gracious. As I'm singing this song, it's not only Sarah I'm thinking of. I personally have lost a couple theater people in this. Madison lost Karen earlier this year, and I also lost a good friend, Ernie, from Portland, Oregon, who wrote a play that Sean and I did a couple years ago over at Broome Street. So there's a lot of talent that is no longer with us, and so this song is for them. This is called Postmortem Bar. When I cleaned out your rooms, I painted the walls to cover any memories. But still it seemed like you were hovering over, still out there keeping an eye on me. Yeah, I never really was able to tell you. That's why I'm telling you now that you can't hear. Not gonna be the same here without you, and I'm holding back a flood behind one tear. And we'll go down to the postmortem bar and catch up on the years that have passed between us, and we'll tell our stories. Do you remember when the world was just like a carnival opening up? I never thought that I would ever see the day. I don't want to believe it's true. Said you were supposed to always be there. A little part of me died with you. And we'll go down to the postmortem bar and catch up on the years that have passed between us, and we'll tell our stories. Do you remember when the world was just like a carnival opening up? Oh, if I could have one more day with you, the way it used to be, all the things I should have said would pour out of me. I took a walk, I didn't know which way I was going, but somehow or other I ended up here where we always said we'd meet again. I guess I was hoping, but the place had been closed down. It was all dark in there. And we'll go down to the postmortem bar and catch up on the years that have passed between us, and we'll tell our stories. Do you remember when the world was just like a carnival opening? We'll go down to the postmortem bar and catch up on the years that have passed between us, and we'll tell our stories. Do you remember when the world was just like a carnival opening? We'll go down to the postmortem bar and catch up on the years that have passed between us, and we'll tell our stories. Do you remember when the world was just like a brand new play on opening night?
Carl and Tom. Tom and Carl. Put your hands together for Tom and Carl. So one of the last projects that I worked on with the lovely Sarah was a play called Comet Boy, which was written by Jackie Bradley, who can't be here with us tonight, but she's here in spirit. She's watching. Jackie, we love you. Exactly. And they were part of a group called the Medicare Mamas, which were rockin' grannies. And Jackie came to me and said, I have this piece that I wrote this CD about. It's a bunch of songs that I wrote about a friend of mine who had committed suicide. And I want to turn it into a musical. And I went, oh, okay. Let's do that. So we found a group of people, and we did a show called Comet Boy the Musical with Beth Killey, who is amazing, of Gin Chocolate and Bottle Rockets, who you should, if you haven't heard them, you should hear them. And with my wonderful drummer husband, Jim Smith. And we rehearsed the show in the basement of the house that I grew up in on Odana Road. And I have wonderful memories of sitting in that basement and realizing we were putting together a piece that had never been done. It was a world premiere. And we were going to do a show about suicide and make it into a musical. And we did it at the Brink Lounge. And it was very successful. And a year later, we thought, you know what? We should bring it back again because a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it. We only did it for 2 nights. And then the wonderful C hit, COVID. So we thought, what are we going to do? So Sarah and Jackie and I got together and said, let's make a movie. And we did. My first directorial debut of movie making was to do Comet Boy the Musical as a movie with the wonderful Ben Weideman, who's here. Ben, who shot the video. And it became one of the last wonderful memories that I had with Sarah. And I will never forget working with her in her home. She opened up her home, as she did for everything, for everybody. And we shot the movie in her home, in her kitchen, and in her living room. So that's a wonderful memory of my last memory of working with the inimitable Sarah Whelan. So on that note, another woman that I worked with on this very stage when I first came back from California in a show called Breaking Legs with the former Strollers Theater, which is no longer the Strollers Theater. It isn't, I know. Is the wonderful and talented Miss Mary Elizabeth Pasquale. And accompanied also by Tracy Doreen Dietzel, correct? So please welcome them to the stage one more time on the Bartell stage.
It's actually Pasquazi. Michael, we got to talk. For those of you who have not met me, I am Mary Elizabeth.
And I'm Tracy.
And we'll just get started. So no one person completely knows another person. It takes a whole community.
And we want to start by thanking Sarah's family and the friends who organized the celebration of Sarah and inviting the community to share our memories.
And yes, I too played Sarah's daughter on stage. In 1999, during the Bartell's second season, and it was my first play with Sarah, A Delicate Balance. And I played the daughter, Julia, and Sarah played my mother, Agnes. And just a side note, Jeff Knupp, who we lost in the last year as well, played Tobias, my father, another great person. And so Sarah was playing my mother through the tech week, and then unfortunately, Jack had a heart attack, and Sarah had to withdraw from the play, and the play was delayed by a week. And Joan from our production team stepped in for Sarah to play my mother. But back to Sarah, and before she had to pull from the play. So I don't know if any of you know that Sarah sometimes would use method acting. So during the load-in and the tech week for that play, which was downstairs in the black box space, and they did the seating like theater in the round. And every action, every little thing we did could be seen by someone. And there was this actress who, in the play, who was supposed to slap me after I was having a meltdown of some sort. And she was very reluctant to hit me. So Sarah said, we got to get this right because it can't be cheated to get the slap or the dramatic effect. So Sarah had me stand in position and how we're going to do it, and Sarah whacks me. So anyway, needless to say, so many plays and so many stage readings later on that I did with Sarah over the years.
Yeah, I was at some of those readings at her condo, and so many wonderful gatherings. Many of you know about those.
And she was my mother again in the Fabulous Crone Show.
The Crone Show, yeah. I think maybe we met at the Crone Show.
Yeah. Oh my God, we met at the Crone Show, and we've been together over 18 and a half years now. So, not to age myself or Tracy.
But more importantly, I met Sarah at the Crone Show. And
yeah, back to Sarah.
We all went out to eat at Bunky's after closing, and I sat next to Sarah. I thought right then that Sarah was the queen and the kindest and most giving person I'd ever met.
And you got that right. I mean, Bunky's was one of her favorite places to eat. And about a year later, we moved to the Twin Cities. And before we moved back, when we moved to the Twin Cities, we drove back to Madison for Sarah's 75th birthday, catered at Bunky's. And we arrived a little later in the evening, and she did not know that we would be there for the party. So many people showed up to celebrate Sarah, and as it's been said throughout the night, she makes you feel special, and you know you are loved by her. And
she was the special one.
She was. And the last play I was in with her, I got demoted. I played her maid, Agatha, in the children's hour. That closed. We did our full run, but our closing day was when COVID the shutdown began on March 14th, 2020. So during 2020, we made another special visit to her. Sarah lived on one side of Lake Monona, and we lived on another. So during the pandemic, we kayaked across Lake Monona to social distance and visit with Sarah from our kayak. And she came out to the dock, and at first she was standing, and then we were, talking for a while. We talked about family, we talked about friends, theater, and all we missed before the shutdown. And then I don't know how she did it, but she sat down, Indian style, on the dock to continue talking to us.
I got to know Sarah more in the last months of her life. She'd had a fall and broke her arm at the beginning of the year, and her daughters, or maybe it was December, but her daughters needed one more sister, so I was honored to be there as helper. And I helped her with meals and, serving meals and doing, crosswords, and watch TV, movies, and both of us love Stephen Colbert. Woo! So we stayed up late for that. I stayed overnight some nights and, helped her with bedtime and getting up in the morning, drove her to her last haircut. Her hairstylist had moved, and we had to find where she was. We bonded over both of us growing up in the South. I heard stories like her performing on radio with George Carlin, and memories, and one that she had not told her kids. And that story I shared with her daughters about when she lived in Texas, and she had 3 little ones in diapers, cloth diapers, and Jack was out of town and her washing machine broke. So she communicated, when she told me that story, really the emotion of that time. She was really distraught about this situation. She didn't have any money, she didn't have a car, but somehow she was gonna figure out how to manage this. You know, she had a lot of gumption. So she gathered up her little ones and somehow got to Sears and said, I need a washer, I gotta do these diapers. And she bought one on credit. It was delivered and installed that day. I loved hearing her and her sister with their lovely Southern voices when they'd regularly chat on the phone. And she listened to memories and stories, mine, and then so many friends and family who called every day to talk with her.
And Sarah was an excellent listener.
Sarah was social, always thinking of others.
Joyous.
Majestic.
Regal.
Regal. That reminds me that the last time I heard Sarah tell a story was just a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I know I told her that she could visit any time.
Okay.
Well, I was passing by her house in the car. I always think of her at her condo. And on the radio came, on the Madison radio station, she was, wait, that's Sarah, telling a story that she'd recorded with Mind's Eye Radio about the rare regal fritillary, a large and striking mixed grass prairie butterfly in Wisconsin, a species of concern, endangered here, and like Sarah, one of Wisconsin's rare animals. If I'm ever so lucky to see a regal fritillary, I'll think of Sarah.
And we've all been ever so lucky to have known Sarah. Thank you.
And
bravo, Sarah.
We love you.
We love you.
Somebody forgot their glasses up here. Hold on. Are these yours? Okay. I forget my glasses everywhere. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to say about Sarah because we weren't friends in the same way that, you know, we didn't sit around and talk about things, but we talked about very serious things. Sarah was a friend of mine that was always curious. We were both from Louisiana. So we talked about New Orleans, we talked about Shreveport, we talked about having kids. My son, my beautiful little poopskin over there, he would come with me to her house. Because we would be working on a show. Either I would be producing, or she would be acting, or she would have the space available for us. And she would let me bring my son with me, because in order for me to do theater, he had to come with me. And so he would spend hours in that castle room. Yeah, the castle room, I wish I lived there. And we would have deep conversations over tea. And I remember the last really big, deep conversations we had were in 2020. If any of you know me, you know that I'm pretty opinionated about things. I know, it's crazy. And when George Floyd was murdered, she wanted to talk about it. And we sat and we had really long conversations that you wouldn't expect an elder from Louisiana who was white and a young radical from Louisiana, I'm going to pretend I'm young, who was black, to be able to have these conversations. But they were good conversations. And we were able to talk about religion. Because like her, I stepped away from organized religion because of what it is that it said about people like me and people like the people that I love in this room. I miss that. you don't always get to have deep, real conversations with people who ask questions and listen and also teach you. And Sarah was that for me. She left me her teacups. And there's one that he doesn't remember. I swear to God, it's like we lived in a whole different world. He never remembers anything that we did together. And I'm the pothead, what? Anyway, she gave me this cup, and it is a gold and white teacup. This was the first teacup she gave me, and it said Mother on it. And then she let Cobain pick his favorite cup, which was his favorite color is red. So it's this red and gold cup. And him and I, when he was younger, would sit at our table. And a lot of times it was just me and him. And we would drink tea from our cups and be fancy, just like the lady from the castle room. So thank you for sharing your mother with us. So up next is Colleen Murphy, and I think that she's going to be singing the song that I think all of us are going to feel every single day.
Well, I have to put my glasses on. I have two things that I have to say. First of all, those of you who know me and my those of you who know me and my Facebook identity, it's Colleen and Jim Murphy, not this Jim Murphy. Okay? Lovely man, but he's not my husband. The other thing that I have to say is I really apologize to whoever has to clean the theater because I left sparkles all over my chair. Many of you have known Sarah longer and far more intimately than I. But I was fortunate enough to have the privilege and honor to work with her on one project not too long ago. I've worked with her on more than one project, but this one in particular not too long ago. You might remember Overprint. I first met her within the walls of this building. And it was here that I came to know her as the warm, kind, and gentle soul that she was. It is also here that I discovered how insanely talented she was, as warm and generous on stage as off. I found that to be somewhat rare. Sarah, in my experience, was always a team player, game for anything, and not precious about her talent. She could be as dramatic or as tragic, as farcical or as comic as the moment demanded, and she was in it to win it. I aspire to be like her in every way. I can't come into this building without thinking of Sarah. She is in these walls. She is in these seats. She is in these lights. She is in her namesake dressing room. This is where I will always see Sarah. In all the old familiar places that this heart of with mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I didn't know anybody who could play this. Be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when I'll be looking at the moon. I'll be looking at the moon. I'll be looking at the moon. But I'll be seeing you. Seeing you.
Colleen Bootsy Murphy. So now it's my honor and privilege to bring up a lady who is responsible for putting most of this and all of this together. Please welcome to the stage Jan Leventhal.
Whose woods these are, I do not know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it's queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. At the end of Robert Frost's life, he recited that poem to an audience, probably like this one, and he forgot the words. It didn't matter. Everyone in the audience knew the poem, loved the poem, and just cued him. Sarah never forgot any words. It was amazing. In the play Three Tall Women, she always claimed that was the one place she went up on lines. I was at the performance where she claimed she went up on lines. She did not. I don't know what she was talking about. Sarah and I traveled together. We did a lot of shows together. I often wrote with her in mind because it was very important to me to write parts for older women, and still is. And as has been said a couple of times, her final show was my play Overprint, and Colleen was in it, and several other members of the cast are here tonight. And she was completely brilliant. She put things in that play I didn't know I'd written. Toward the end of her life, in the last couple of months, she was very bored with having to do nothing but take care of herself. So I organized some people to come over and play games, 4 or 5 people at a time, and a lot of you came, thank you. One of the last times, it was Gillian, me, Sarah, and, it was Alwyn? Oh, sorry, it was Alwyn. Sorry, I have a terrible memory. Exactly. And the other 2 people were Sarah's upstairs neighbors, Emily Jones and Linda Finn, who are improv artists and very funny people. So the game that we played in all these instances is called Pitch Storm, and everyone in the circle, except one, is pitching a movie, and that one person is the producer who is giving notes. And all of those things are prescribed on little cards. So it was Sarah's turn to pitch a movie, and it was Linda's turn to give notes. And the note that she had on the little card is, what if this were a musical? But Linda's an improv artist, a great one, and very funny. So she said, in fact, why don't you just sing all the parts? And Sarah did. This was just a few weeks before she died, but she was still consummate performer, top of her game, hilarious, and the only thing I regret is that none of us had the presence of mind to do a recording of it, because it was totally brilliant. I will miss Sarah every single day of my life for the rest of my life. But I have promises to keep, and some of them were to Sarah about finishing some work I'm working on and about continuing to be part of this amazing theater community. And with any luck at all, I have miles to go before I sleep.
So the Golden Girls bit was so long that we had to cut the additional talking. So I am sorry if you are not going to have an opportunity to speak tonight. Please, if you're on Facebook, post on Facebook. The family still takes a look at the Facebook. So that's all the words I had.
That's all the words you have?
That was it.
I can't believe that's all the words you have.
Right now. Yep.
So we are both incredibly honored that we were asked to host the show tonight because we both have wonderful memories of Sarah. And we too will miss her every single day of the rest of our lives. And thank you all for being here to celebrate the wonderful, 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 wonderful woman, the Queen, Sarah Whelan Blake. And as you probably know, Sarah was a big, big, big fan of musicals. And so we have our own version of one of her favorites, The Sound of Music. But the Von Trapp family can't be here tonight. But the Von Whelan family is here tonight. Please put your hands together for the Von Whelan family singers.
I can't believe we have to follow all that.
Tough crowd.
Well, good evening. My name's Greg Whelan. I'm the son of Paul Whelan, Sarah's sister. And Sarah's brother, man. And as you can see,
Not that anyone's judging.
well, as you can see, I'm one of the 12 siblings here. So there's two songs we'd like to perform for you tonight. The second, my sister Monica, she will introduce to you shortly. The first is a song we all sang as kids at almost any occasion we could. So it never occurred to us to sing this song, but actually it's a song that the Blake girls, that's what we always call them, that the Blake girls requested we sing. The words kind of reflect our lives growing up. A large crowd of surviving on sometimes meager income and sometimes tough times. But always enjoyed what we had and enjoying each other and each other's friends. Nowadays, we actually still sing this song at every wedding as we welcome a new bride or groom into our extended family. So tonight, we sing it to welcome Aunt Sarah's theater friends to the same extended family.
Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares? Whatever we got, we share. If it's a chance to be, we should see some harder days. Empty harder days, why grouse? Or if it's a chance to meet somebody to foot the bill, then the drinks are on the house. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration, we can state, consider yourself one of us. Nobody tries to be la-di-da or uppity. There's a cup of tea for all. And it's wise to be handy with the rolling pin
we are not professional. But if you think of us as one of those little God's winks that the pastor mentioned this morning, that would about do it. So we have come from all over as a gift from our dad, Sarah's brother, to the Blake family. We knew Sarah in many enduring ways. A loving aunt, a crazy theatrical presence, an insightful soul. This is a song our mom, Patricia, and our dad, Paul, taught us that you may recognize, but we tweaked the lyrics. We encourage you to join us at the end as we say our earthly goodbyes to Aunt Sarah.
There's a sad sort of clanging from the clock in the hall, and the bells of the steeple too. And up at the bartel an absurd little bird is popping out to say boo-hoo. Regretfully they tell us, but firmly they compel us to say goodbye to you.
So long, farewell, the curtain's falling down. The greatest show has left this little town.
She loved the stage, as many love to see. It was her home, the place she loved to flee. She saw the art in everyone she met, the kind of soul you simply don't forget. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. We bow to you, adieu, adieu, adieu.
Sarah has gone,
and so must you and I.
so long.
Jonas.
So we'd like to welcome you all to come outside in front of the theater, where we're going to dim the lights like they do on Broadway in memory of the wonderful Sarah Blake. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's been an honor. being your hosts. So please come outside in the front room, and we will dim the lights at the Bartell Theater.
Just fine until then.
I know, it's okay.
Circumstances. Yeah, this is Sarah's building.
You need to send it to me. Oh, are you kidding? Oh my God.
I had to cut our meeting story though.